After wanting to see this damn movie for like 8 months or so, I finally got the chance to see Oppenheimer. People have been talking about this movie for like over a year now, and I've just seen so many videos on YouTube and like wannabe filmmakers just talk about this movie and how great it is and how much of like it's evolutionized like the next generation of filmmaking. Before I get into it, I just want to get out of the way that I didn't really like the movie myself. I have a lot of reasons why I didn't like it, and I'll get into it in this video. But if you're new to this channel, my name is Parren. I make short films and feature films on this channel, and also talk about movie reviews and filmmaking tips and YouTube tips. So if that interests you, make sure to click that subscribe button if you want to see more content like this. So overall, Christopher Nolan has made a lot of movies in his past, including including The Dark Knight, like Tenet, Inception, all those like famous movies and stuff. And for me, for one, I'm not really a big fan of like his directed style, just because I haven't really seen that much of his movies. I know he's very popular and stuff, but it's funny because I don't get excited about popular movies nowadays or popular directors that much. I have like a small like little section of like movies that I pay attention to, but I don't really get hyped when I see like, ooh, Barbie or Oppenheimer or like, stuff like that where everyone else is talking about it. It's kind of weird, but I guess that's just me. So, I finally decided to give this movie a shot, and I wanted to see it when it came out in cinemas, but I just didn't get the chance, since everyone else did and everyone else liked it. So, but it was weird because for some reason I just didn't like the movie. I just didn't like it. I just want to talk about the positives first of all, and what I did like and what aspects of it interest me the most. I think Cillian Murphy, the main character, the actor is really, really great. I've seen him in a few things, and he does a great job. And he did a great job in this movie. And, obviously he won Best Actor for the movie. He did a great job portraying Oppenheimer. And, I've seen some videos of Oppenheimer after I've seen the movie, like the actual real person. And for one, like I could tell, like he put a lot into his performance, into the character. So that was like one main aspect of the movie that I really liked. And also just kind of like the brief history lesson of everything, because for me, I don't really know much about Oppenheimer or like the whole story behind the atomic bomb. So it was interesting for me to like learn about that and how that kind of shaped history and stuff. And, I'm a sucker for history itself, so I really like when I see new things and I learn new things about World War II or just like the world in general. So I found that very interesting. But for one thing, speaking of Nolan's movies, a few years ago, I saw the movie Tenet, which he directed. For one, that was probably like one of my least favorite movies of all time, just because it was so confusing. I just didn't like that movie at all. Two things that a movie can do to absolutely ruin it is one, if it's boring, and two, if it's confusing. And this movie did that a lot during the movie. 2 hours and 59 minutes of it was just talking. Sometimes were just confusing, and just 1 minute of the explosion, which everyone was waiting for, obviously. But just some parts of the movie were just just so confusing. There's a lot of characters back and forth, and it went back and forth between times. It went from ahead, back into the past, back ahead, back into the past. And there was one scene in the movie where I was going from 3 different locations talking about the same subject, 3 different points in time. And I was just like, what are they even talking about? I'm just so confused because I had subtitles on, for one, because I was watching it on Peacock, and two, because I just can't understand sometimes when people are talking too fast. Probably like how I'm doing now. That's why I add subtitles to this video. Sometimes in the movie, it just didn't make sense to me what they were talking about. Obviously, I know they're talking about communism, the bomb and stuff, but I wasn't present at all with like the movie. And it was a huge disconnect. Like I felt like I was so far behind like the conversation. When you're talking to someone and they keep blabbling on and you just like so far behind, you're like 10 minutes behind like what they said 10 minutes ago. And you're just confused at what they're talking about now. And you're not even paying attention to what they're talking about. That's how a lot of this movie felt to me. And maybe I'm just stupid. Maybe people are just so much smarter, which they probably are. They can just follow along with like the movie. I just couldn't follow along that much, like in certain scenes of the movie, and it just kept going on and on. And there was a lot of characters and stuff, and I was genuinely surprised of how this movie made popular actors such as Josh Peck and the guy from Bohemian Rhapsody to become background characters in the movie. And I think it's just Christopher Nolan, since he's like very famous, and this movie has a lot of famous people in it. They just have like a lot of like famous actors in like the background and stuff. I just think that's hilarious. Very unimmersive, like wise, But I just thought that was funny to see Josh Peck in like the background, and he has like one line or whatever throughout the entire movie. And you know, overall, there's just so many like characters, so much going on within the movie. By the time it got to the end at the 3-hour mark, Oppenheimer and Albert Einstein have that final conversation. It just ends, and it was just kind of a weird moment, just because there's no like major climax in the movie. And you know, that's fine and whatever, because this movie doesn't have like a climax or like a, you know, final battle or whatever. But it just ended like all of a sudden. And when a movie does that, and it just had this distaste for it afterwards, and making me never want to see it again, just because it just ends. Like, I don't know. From what people were talking about this movie, it seemed like there was like a hidden gem behind it, and people thought like, you know, this movie was gonna like shape the way of filmmaking, whatever, down the line. And I just didn't see any of that. I just felt like it was a very generic, boring Christopher Nolan movie. But it's weird for me because, you know, I'm just a weirdo. Like, for me, for popular movies, a lot of them I just don't like, or I just think they're okay. And for a lot of like unpopular movies with people, I think they're great. And, you know, that's just my like interpretation with some movies. Like, I'm a big, like, sometimes with movies, I'm just like against the whole crowd. Like, I'm like totally like the outlier of like reviews and stuff. Like, whenever like a new movie comes out and like people say it's great, I usually don't like it. Whenever people say something is bad, I usually think I love it. Just certain things, most of the time, not all the time with movies, but it's just my opinion, you know? I just find it interesting how I feel about this movie, and that's why I want to make this video, just because I knew I was beyond the outlier and everyone thought this movie was a masterpiece. But have you seen this movie? What'd you think of Oppenheimer? I'm pretty sure you loved it because everyone else did except for me. But if you didn't, if you thought it was awful like me, I didn't think it was awful. If I had to give it like a rating or whatever, I'll probably give it like a 5 out of 10. I think it was a very okay movie. Maybe I just need to see it again. Maybe it's just one of those movies where you have to watch it again to fully understand, which I don't mind, but I'll probably never do. If you're new, click the subscribe button. And if you want to see another video like this, click the video on screen now where I talk about something else, some other video similar to this. And with that being said, I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you guys next time.